Streaming? I think stream's up. Can I hear stuff now? Thank you. Okay, thank you for letting me hear things. No, I don't want to do that on... I want to do that on Discord. I don't care. Wow, the viewers actually did join back. Stop saying my name in YouTube. You might get banned. My mods are probably gonna delete that message, so. Imagine if Ninja got a love type of fate. I wonder if they've deleted it already. No, it's not even there anymore. Okay, don't say my name in YouTube chat, or else, you're gonna get banned. Can I do the first jump, please? It deleted my... I'm so thankful I did this. Oh my god. Oh, thank God. Thank Jesus, dude. Oh my God. Thank the Lord. This is way too loud, though. What's up, guys? It's Corey Kenshin. Y'all want to see something cool? I'm gonna go into a wave level. Just watch this, guys. You're kidding me. Watch this, guys. Yes, that's tough. Anyways, I'm gonna put my key back on. Guys, watch this. I don't know how people don't stay in the green. It's so easy. I don't think I've left the green. Okay, I think I entered the yellow just a bit there, but whatever. What is that detailed end screen? What's the point of that? Is this just grief? How? Bro! You're kidding me! Yeah, this is taking way too long to download. A song, dude. Well, Poltergeist grinding, here I come. I don't wanna play. Well, 恭喜新春，恭喜新气，恭喜恭喜新春。I'm never beating the allegations, bro. Isagi. I need to change my Discord profile picture. I mean, not my Discord, my YouTube.
Hell.
Guys, I don't think this level is good. I'm a creeper, Minecraft gonna reaper. Wow, the YouTube delay is horrible. The YouTube delay is like 30 seconds. While Twitch is like 6 seconds. Not 6 seconds, more like 9. Holy bad. Why is the... That's so bad, dude. YouTube sucks. Oh my god. By the time I get to like 30. I'm gonna play with my middle key, guys. I don't have the keycap on it, so we'll see if I can even do anything. It's like me pressing a key that's not even there. I think my finger is like injured though. It's just horrible. Does buffering not exist anymore or something? Yo. You're kidding me. Dawn episode 3 already released.
Yeah, did you not know?
Yeah. I have to recognize.
It's gonna release. It released today.
Okay, I'm gonna have to watch that later.
I don't know when though.
I got 79 on Poltergeist today, dude. I'm so angry. Cause 66 to 100 is
Nice,
at
bro.
first attempt, dude. I literally suck at the game.
Oh yeah, right.
I mean, I expected to die somewhere, 66 through 100, but I didn't expect to die to it twice. At the stupidest
Dude,
part.
I've been doing this. Wait, hold on. Dun, dun,
God.
dun, dun. No! Bro, I'm still trying to be unsorted mix, which is an easy demon. It should be a medium demon, I promise.
Then count it as a medium demon when you beat it.
Bro, I'm so close to the end. I'm just 4% away.
I'm technically like I'm 10% away from being able to try out the last jump. Other than the 2 yellow orbs that
Wait,
are
how much percent is
impossible.
that? How much like
The
percent
end
do you get?
is basically 89, and then there's one last click.
Yeah, without the
80.
title.
Huh? Without the like.
I thought it was
title.
at like 84
Nah, the last
or
the last
86.
auto
I don't
part is
remember.
at like 89, sir. So yeah, I think I died to like a random click. As soon as I pass 33, I can beat it, dude. Literally 19 to 33 is like annoying. And then I'm just really I'm gonna be honest, 25 to 29 isn't bad anymore. It's now 32 to 35 that are the worst part. Even though it's so easy.
No! Why did I
like
phase out? Why did I not click?
Oi, oi, oi!
I'm done with this, bro. I'm practicing the end like so many times. It's so annoying. I keep dying at the
Just
end.
get a
That's the
start
only
pause.
problem I have, bro. That's the only thing I have problem with.
Yeah,
I have a problem with.
Bro, the YouTube stream is so delayed. When I get to 31%, the level start like every single time I get to 31%, the attempt that I'm currently doing starts. So when I beat it, it'll still be at like 69%. So it's gonna be by the time I'm freaking out, YouTube chat, which it doesn't have anybody, is gonna be saying go.
Oh, I almost beat it in practice mode. I got scared.
Hoik Tua! Did you ever learn how to do that one weird UFO part consistently?
Yes, of course. That's so easy.
I never done. I just still click. I just pray.
Oh my gosh. You just pray. Ah!
Dude, the day I get back to 49% will be the day I beat it. Because I don't know how I got to that tropical area. Like, dude, on my screen, I just died at 12. When I'm looking at YouTube. That was 5 attempts ago.
Dude, if I can't get this in one attempt, I don't know how I'm gonna beat the level.
Maybe start pause it. Start pause all over. Try to beat it backwards.
Backwards?
Yeah, I know, it sounds stupid. So do, like, say I was on Poltergeist. Say if I did 66 to 100, to beat it backwards, I would have to get 70. Well, I'd have to get 66 or higher.
Copy. Load.
I think you know how it works. I don't need to tell you.
Down, 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 down. Where's the
Imagine
level
beating a
at,
level
dude?
backwards, though. That'd be so crazy.
The levels disappear. Oh, it's right here. Why is it like so secret? What part is this? Dun, 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 dun. Oh, that's the ball part. And then where's the transition out? Huh. All. Oh, yeah, that's better. Oh, that's way better. Start pause here. Well, this sucks. It doesn't even work. Up. No, no, whoa, way too up. Up.
Domain expansion. Ew.
Infinite backshots?
Yes, please. What?
No, no, no. I said I
Dude.
didn't like it.
I
What?
did. By the time I get to my go, I'm gonna be doing the last click. Cause my go is 61.
Let's even
Which
play.
means I would be at like 91.
Where's the music? Where is the music? Oh, whoops. Where is the music at, chat? Please? Please work. I don't know why there's no music, but you know. Oh, whoop. I built some wrong stuff, but it'll work out. It'll work out. Dun, dun. Nope. Create. Dun, 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 dun. Ugh. Down, 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 down.
I'm about to break my desk.
Down. Okay. Let's go, I beat it! I have to get a 3 in a row. 3 in a row.
I'm gonna crash out, so I'm gonna go take a shower, so I can,
Okay.
beat the level. Yeah, I'll be
Okay.
back.
Okay. There's rats on my computer. I should be really ticked off at you. I know I should be really teased off. I don't talk to you anymore. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Dun, 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 dun. Oh my god. 276 attempts. Oh my god. Shum, I finally beat the easy demon that I was trying to beat. Unsorted mix. Yeah, no, this should be a demon. This should be a demon. Mm, mm.
I made a full-length rated Geometry Dash level with just 29 objects. Yes, all the gameplay, these backgrounds, and all the triggers controlling them add up to only 29 objects. I had to do some pretty crazy and really cursed tricks to pull this off. First off, the obstacles. You need at least 60 seconds of gameplay for a full level, but that's like hundreds of objects. So instead of making 60 seconds of gameplay, I pulled a little trick. You see, the only obstacles I'll add in this whole level are these four blocks. The plan is to let the player fly through these, and once the blocks are off the screen, we move them back in front of the player to be reused. This gets really repetitive really fast though, so in addition, every time they move, we jumble them up a bit with two rotate triggers. The center they're rotating around is a large glow object, which also serves as some subtle decoration. Nice. But to make this last long, we now have to repeat these triggers over and over. Luckily, there's a clever solution to this too. This is a spawn trigger, and what it basically does is activate another trigger after some delay. However, we can actually just make it activate itself, which will again activate itself, essentially creating a loop. Now all we have to do is make it also activate these triggers, and we have achieved infinite gameplay with just 10 objects. To finish up the gameplay, we changed the game mode a couple of times with some portals to make it more varied. You can in fact skip these portals, but it doesn't really matter because it's the same kind of gameplay all the way through anyways. To actually make these parts distinct though, we need variety in the decoration as well, and we'll use some very clever tricks to make that happen. Let's start with colors. We can use the copy color feature to have all the colors be derived from a single color channel, so that we only need one trigger to change the whole palette. We'll change the color once for each part, including the first where we faded in from black. The music also lends itself to some quite dramatic pulses, and we can make that happen by hooking a pulse trigger to the loop we already created, since the loop is already synced to the music. This becomes a bit harder than you might think though. Instead of making the pulse trigger choose the color of the pulse, which would mean we couldn't change the palette throughout the level, the trigger actually pulses everything black, but in reverse. So the perceived pulse happens in the space between the actual pulses. We also add another spawn trigger to offset the pulse trigger from the rest of the loop, so the perceived pulses sync up with the gameplay. This turns out to really fit the song, especially with the other decorations that will accompany it, which you will see in the full playthrough at the end of this video. Anyways, now we have a problem though, because the transition between the first two parts in the song actually makes the loop go out of sync. So we actually need to pause the loop for a while. To do this, we need to stop the loop with the toggle trigger, move the gameplay to account for the movement of the player during the pause, toggle the loop back on, and then start the loop again. You can actually use one less object here by using an instant count trigger, which when in activate group mode, both toggles and spawns the group at the same time for some reason. We only have 9 objects left now, and the tricks get pretty wild from here on out, so buckle up. Backgrounds. These are the backgrounds that are in the final level. Normally, backgrounds in Geometry Dash are created with thousands of objects, but these are created with not hundreds, not tens, but three. 3 objects total for both of them. How? This is a text object. By default, all you can write in these is 20 characters on a single line. It's pretty easy to bypass the character limit with a hack, but you still can't have multiple lines of text, except if you go to the save file, XOR decrypted with the key 11, base64 decoded, g-unzip it, go to the level you're working on, locate the encrypted level string, base64 decode it, g-unzip it, and then find the text object, find property 31, then base64 decode this, we see that this is the text we just inputted. And as it turns out, if you just replace this text with something with multiple lines, encode it, and put it back, and then do all of those steps in reverse, the game will just accept that and render it with multiple lines. So now that we can make multiple lines of text with a single object, we can pretty much draw an image with that text. You wouldn't want to do this by hand though. So instead, I wrote a script to convert any image into a text object and insert it into the level for me. To make the actual source images for the backgrounds in the level, I drew the first one by hand and I made the second one in Blender. For this one, I rendered the Blender scene with 2 different lighting setups, converted both to text objects, and gave them 2 different colors to give the finished product a pretty nice aesthetic. To actually use them as backgrounds in the level, we need a move trigger to make them stay on screen. We'll use the swirly background in the middle part and the vaporwave background in the last part, leaving the first part empty for now. To do this, we line up the backgrounds like this and move them both each time the part changes. Instead of moving it twice though, we can use a pretty unknown trick to make this with one object. By setting the easing of a move trigger to ease in out, and then setting the easing rate to a really low number, it will make the objects move really fast, then slow for a long time, then really fast again. Doing this here will make the background quickly move in while hidden in the black holes, then stay on screen for the duration of the part with a pleasant slow parallax movement, then quickly change over to the second background at the end, all with a single move trigger. We're nearing the end here, but the background is still pretty empty, especially in the first part. So let's add another detail. This is an object with a cool scaling animation that we can blow up with the scale hack to use as a background for the level. We can also set the speed of the object to match the speed of the music, and all in all, it turns into a pretty satisfying animation.
Do not
Allow me
redeem
to
the gift card!
and I'll give it a
What the?
contrasting color and a slower animation speed, just to make it more interesting. For this part, I'll move these two up so they match the position of the sun. Just because, come on, you can't just leave it there. There's one last problem to solve, and one last object to solve it. Right now, the level actually ends at the last portal, because that's the object farthest to the right in the level. So the last object we add will also have to mark the end of the level itself. So I used the image generator I made for the backgrounds to make my logo, and added it to the proper end of the level, so that the level is extended to include the last part. That's it. Those are all the objects in the final level, which I will show now.
Driving in my car right after a beer. Hey, that truck. Hey, that bop is shaped like a deer. DUI, how about you die? I'll go 100 miles. Oh.
Welcome to the next episode of Videos Canadians should have uploaded but never did. This comes from a time over a year ago when Vixios and other members of the Minecraft Manhunt community asked me to help them on a project to debunk the legitimacy of another Manhunt YouTuber named Hissy. They wanted me to just create one segment to be a part of their full debunk video, but after I finished my segment and uploaded it unlisted to YouTube, the link was leaked somehow. Hissy found out about it, desperately tried to defend himself in the comments before ultimately deleting them when he realized he was an idiot, and then one of his friends threatened to gaslight one of the members into canceling the project entirely. Ever since then, they've pretty much gotten away with it, so hopefully now that all the drama's over, I can release the 20-minute debunk I made to the rest of the world without getting them all to come after me. Well, Phil, so, Hissy, the latest star in the Minecraft Manhunt community. I'll admit, when I first watched his videos, they seemed pretty legit. Everything seemed to line up, and the vast majority seems to share the same experience. But after taking a deeper approach to this analysis, my perception of Hissy has completely turned around. Not only is he a massive fraud who's faked his recordings countless times per video, but he's really, really good at hiding it. To prove my point, I'm going to give you my analysis of just 2 of his Manhunt videos. Using this first video, I'll demonstrate how Hissy has been able to hide his tracks so well, and using that information, I'll use the second video to give several examples of 100% irrefutable proof that Hissy is a fraud. It's gonna get really spicy here. First, let's start with the context. In this episode of Minecraft Manhunt, Hissy spawns in a beautiful 1.82 valley with 2 villagers, one on each end. He then spends a grand total of 30 minutes in the spawn region, just going back and forth up and down hills. I can tell because in this scene it's night, in the next scene it's day again, and the scene after that it's night again. He then has a few very legitimate encounters with the hunters, where he implements strategies such as hitting a pig, which causes the hunters to think the pig is him. A very high IQ move that only the experts can spot. At another point in this 30-minute period, he finds himself on top of a mountain being chased. His only escape is to jump down. Fortunately, there's some water down below it. Oh, no, it's all completely gone, so you can jump into powdered snow for some reason. And in one more relevant scene, we see him running away from a player inside a cave, and in the next cut, he's suddenly outside the cave. Now, I bring these all up not because they're evidence, but because they seem weird. Every one of these points just doesn't seem natural, and ironically, I think that's one of the ways that Hissy keeps his image safe. Take the scene where he's running inside a cave, for example. The scene where he suddenly finds himself on the surface. I've seen a few people try to call him out for this scene, but I looked at the actual scene itself, and this cave is genuine. There's an exit that's not too far ahead. But this isn't the only example of false evidence. In another clip a little while later, we see Hissy swimming deep at the bottom of the ocean, and suddenly the scene cuts to him deep inside a bamboo jungle. Some people in our group thought this was suspicious too, but using Chunkface, I can tell that there's actually 3 different jungles in the nearby area. So it's very likely this. Even the mesa he goes to a little while later is not too far from the jungle. Most often, the most obviously suspicious moments are something that Hissy can write off with reasonable excuses, while the actual evidence of cheating is hidden much deeper down. For example, in this scene in the mesa, he's at half a heart with no food, running through a mine shaft. Immediately in the next cut, his hunger is exactly the same, but he's gained half a heart. It also doesn't help that in this entire video, Hissy never presses F3 once, so it's almost impossible to track him down, even using the C. I wasn't able to locate him until he went to this pillager outpost, which I was able to locate through Chunkface. There's also another goofy moment here where he spontaneously gains 3 hunger, despite not having any food. Okay, sure, so maybe he gave himself slight health boosts here and there, and he doesn't usually put on F3. That doesn't make him guilty of all that much, does it? Now remember, I haven't shown what Hissy is specifically guilty of yet. And while I'm not going to get to the truly incriminating evidence yet, this video still has a lot of suspicious moments worth showing. In the nether, Hissy comes across a bastion next to a fortress, a pair of structures I was able to find pretty quickly using Chunkface. For the next several minutes of the video, we see Hissy running around the fortress, occasionally leaving and coming back for more blaze rods, as the hunters are constantly chasing him down. And at the very end of this great battle, he finally leaves riding on the back of a strider. At least, that's what it looks like to the average viewer. Here's the issue. I was able to locate this fortress using Chunkface. I can link it up to this one right here and verify it by seeing it in game. But the blaze spawner shown in the following scene doesn't match up with anything in this fortress. That's because he actually goes to a second fortress, and I can verify that by going to the coordinates of the second fortress and matching up everything in the scene with what you see here. But then we see this blaze spawner right here over a massive pit of lava, and that links up with a third fortress, this one right here, and once again I can confirm because I can see this exact same layout, block for block, at these coordinates. Now you might think that's crazy. How often do you see 3 fortresses in one recording? But then he goes to a 4th fortress. There's a blaze spawner right here in the video which perfectly links up with the one I'm seeing here at these coordinates, which line up with this 4th fortress. And I can verify it because the place where he leaves riding on a strider is exactly the same as this place right here. Now I'm no speedrunner expert, but 4 fortresses
Sleep in the room.
video without anyone pointing it out, that's so, how many blaze rods did he get after visiting 4 different fortresses without anyone mentioning it? 14, which is actually a lot as far as I can tell, because I'm pretty sure you only need 7 or 8. So he's definitely completely set. Then exactly 7 seconds of video later, he opens his inventory in the next cut, and he has 26. So either he cheated in 12, which, no, wouldn't cheat in item, or he found a 5th fortress, and the hunters just gave up on tracking. Now I'm going to go with the theory that he cheated in items, and it'll become pretty obvious why later. After a moment of traveling, he decides to randomly dig down in a random basalt delta, and oh my god, it's a ruined portal. How did he find that? Now, ignoring the fact that he dug in a random direction and found a ruined portal, What's weird to me is that he left the fortress going. So I checked all the ruined portals in basalt deltas in the general east direction, and I couldn't find a single one that matched with the one he found. So I went on to check every single ruined portal in a 4,000 block area that was inside a basalt delta, and none of them matched with the one he found. I'm pretty sure it's a legitimate portal because it matches up with an existing model, but I couldn't find one no matter how far out I searched, which means he must have traveled a really long distance. Or he teleported. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to track him. Ultimately, he leaves the Nether with 26 blaze rods and 3 ender pearls. Wait, 3 ender pearls? That's not enough for a portal, is it? Oh no, don't worry guys, it's fine, because in the next scene he has 7. Now sure, maybe he killed 4 to 8 endermen in that time and didn't show any of them on screen, but then he digs straight down in a savanna biome and finds the stronghold out of nowhere. So once again, I went searching through strongholds, and I couldn't find a single one that was under a savanna biome. So he must have traveled really far away to cover up his tracks. Then he finds 2 pearls inside this stronghold chest, and then, a couple moments later, he's up to 12. Now again, he could have just killed a ton of endermen and didn't show any of them in his video. But that doesn't really explain why he confidently left the Nether after traveling for a really long time and thought 3 pearls was enough. Did he know he was going to find enough endermen to make up for it? Sadly, it's just not quite enough to be definitive proof of cheating, but it is really suspicious. Fortunately, I don't need this video to prove that Hissy is a fraud. This was just a demonstration of the kinds of things he does to hide his tracks. The real evidence is in the second video, so brace yourselves, because it's about to get intense. Once again, Hissy was kind enough to provide the seed in the description. Surely the sign of an honest man, right? Well, if you load the seed in 1.18, you'll find that everything has changed. Nothing matches what is seen inside the video. None of the structures are in the same places. This is the wrong seed. And the reason for that is because he's actually in 1.17. I thought it was 1.18 because he has caves and cliffs generation underground. But as my manhunt friends explained to me, he's actually using a data pack find on Planet Minecraft. It only has about 42,000 downloads, and this allows you to get caves and cliffs generation in 1.17. So in reality, showing the seed in the description wasn't a sign of transparency, since this exact seed he uses is only accessible by 42,000 people. What's more, I loaded the seed using the data pack, and the spawn region still doesn't match his spawn location at all. That's because he doesn't start the manhunt anywhere near spawn. And it should be practically impossible to find the place where the manhunt takes place. Hissy's done a very good job of hiding his tracks here. Unfortunately for him, his determination to hide all the evidence he's a liar does not outweigh my determination to find that evidence. Using the location where the portal generated in the Nether, I was able to find the exact location where he builds his portal in the overworld. And using key points in the terrain, I was able to work my way back all the way through this fight scene to find out the exact coordinates where the manhunt began. And Hissy, I can see the sweat on your face from here. You didn't think anyone would get this far, did you? You hid this seed behind so many layers of protection. Oh wait, how can I say everything's exactly the same block for block? In my seed, these cactuses are barely grown, but in his, they're fully grown. They must have spent a lot of time at the spawn region before the recording started. I wonder what they did in all that time. Well, before I start going through the evidence, I need to go through one technical point just so you understand. I'm technically using a slightly different version of the model for these people. So the underground biomes are not going to match with the biomes of species, but the terrain of the cave is still exactly the same. I'll show just a few scenes of this block for block. The only difference is the types of blocks the caves are made out of and the decoration of plant blocks, which generate separate from the natural caves. Other than that, the shapes of the caves should be exactly the same. You don't know where I'm going with this. They're not. So he starts doing what any normal speedrunner would do and goes straight for a cave. So after a while of sprinting in random directions, Hissy finds himself in this massive epic looking cave with lava at the bottom. So you might be wondering, what's the probability going in random directions that Hissy would have found this cave? Well, after searching 25 different caves, I can tell you the probability that he doesn't hit a dead end is 0. All the caves are dead ends. You see, at this point in the recording, just after he attacks the skeleton, he runs into this cave, which is impossible to get through because there's a 2-block high cliff. I'll play it very slowly a few times so you can tell. Oh, and sorry, but not only is this cave completely impossible to get through, but it doesn't even exist. This is the cave you enter. It goes in this direction, and as you can see, everything is the same block for block until we get to this cave, where suddenly he has a cave there and I don't. If you don't know, that's not how seed generation works at all. But that's the beginning. In the next scene, he takes this random sharp left turn towards this cave over here, and then climbs up this sort of cliff, which should be impossible because there aren't actually any blocks that allow you to get up here. Here's what the seed is supposed to look like, and here's what he has. Shortly after, he runs to the edge of the cave and then jumps onto this block right here, which frankly doesn't exist, nor does Minecraft even generate blocks that way at all. Ultimately, he stands at the edge of this block and takes a leap of faith into the lava, but then just barely lands magically knew he was dead. This is also possible because the gap in the ledge that Hissy uses to just barely get to the water is not as deep in the actual sea. Here's me attempting to jump, and while you can just barely make it, there's no chance you're getting anywhere near the water. Now, this is pretty obvious evidence of cheating, but it's not even the most incriminating part. Then, after traveling 200 blocks under, Hissy manages to find his way to this mine shaft where he can finally get wood. After a short amount of time, he's confronted by one of the hunters, who, after chasing Hissy away, decides, nah, I'm just gonna sit here. After this, Hissy enters this great fight scene, which lasts for more than 8 minutes of the video. Because, PvP is the only thing that Hissy's good at. Now, I'm not an expert on analyzing PvP, so I can't tell you if these hunters are just bad or if they're faking. But in the end, Hissy wins the fight and then moves on to the Nevin. He gets 5 out of 6 in Blaze Rock drops and then goes on to mine golds to get Ender Pearls. Or at least that's the theory, because I've never seen him mine golds, nor does he seem to lose a lot of durability on his pickaxe. But I'll just give you the benefit of the doubt and say he did actually. One of the biggest names, 200. This channel, a devastating exposed video of Sam. In this video, I'm going to give you the real, not the part that he pushes to his fans, what it means to the future of the Manhunt community. It all started with a YouTuber called Canadian who showed almost undeniable proof that Hissy staged his manhunt. The main reason why Canadian was able to gather this proof not to expose Hissy in the first place was because he had the seeds to the world that Hissy was playing on. Seeds in Minecraft are randomly generated numbers that determine the world's generation.
Why is my thing so lagging?
Hissy is one of the biggest names in the manhunt community, almost 200 fans. His channel, right, a devastating exposed video of Sam's career. In this video, I'm going to give you the real reason for his downfall, and not the rubbish he pushes to his fans, what it means to the future of the manhunt community. It all started with a YouTuber called Canadian who showed almost undeniable proof that Hissy staged his manhunt. The main reason why Canadian was able to gather this proof not to expose Hissy in the first place was because he had the seeds to the world that Hissy was playing on. Seeds in Minecraft are randomly generated.
You there, bro?
Yeah, I'm here.
Alright, I'm just watching some videos real quick.
There was some Hissy also uses a server glitch to teleport really far in the end. Canadian points out that the glitch doesn't work anymore because it's already been patched out, which forces Hissy to admit the glitch didn't work, so he just teleported himself really far instead, off camera. When Canadian released his exposed video 11 months ago, it didn't immediately end Hissy's reign. Surprisingly, at first, it seemed that he could brush it off, simply by ignoring the exposed video. His next video got way more likes than dislikes, but the seed of doubt was already planted. With each new upload, Hissy faced an army of critics. The like-to-dislike ratio tanked, and the comment section turned brutal. The comment section started pointing out more and more discrepancies. For example, in Hissy's one of the top comments points out that Hissy's pickaxe magically goes up in durability despite not having mending. And Hissy? He couldn't handle hiding the truth about his manhunt. The pressure, the scrutiny. So what did Hissy do? He pulled the ultimate Hissy fit and quit YouTube, with only one singular community post addressing it. The community post just thanked his fans for watching, with only a vague reason as to why he was quitting, simply stating that he hated doing manhunt. The top comment on this community post asked him what is the point of deleting your videos. He gave yet another vague reason as to why he was quitting, saying he didn't want his channel to be on the platform anymore.
including Capcom, he's just gone. Clearly he's been bullied off YouTube to stage his content, but is too embarrassed to admit it. It'd be fine if he quit and was just honest. The damage doesn't end with Dizzy. Remember all those epic Fabio and Ogmo collabs? Dizzy? They're now tainted. If Fabio and Ogmo are finding themselves being Dizzy stage his manhunt, what's to say they're not staging their manhunt? To end this video, hopefully Dizzy's downfall kind of things as more people are starting to wake up and realise that these manhunt YouTubers aren't who they say they are.
Minecraft video is 3 hours and 47 minutes long. And if you think the reason it's so long is because it's stream or raw gameplay footage, you'd actually be dead wrong. Because this is a fully edited YouTube video and is one of many that is artificially extended to be longer than actual Hollywood movies like Avengers Endgame. And no, that's not even a joke. So why are these videos so long? Because yeah, it is normal for Minecraft content to get longer over time, but going from 20-minute videos to straight up multiple hours shows that there's something else going on behind the scenes. And trust me, there actually is. There is so much more to why these videos are becoming so long, with some creators actually being trapped into this style of content. And I want to find out why, by talking directly to creators who are actually making this type of content for themselves. But there's a problem with that. You see, these videos specifically involve hardcore and ethnic Minecraft videos. And in order to understand what makes them so long, we need to know where both of them first started. Because they didn't exactly begin 3-4 hours long. In fact, at the beginning, most videos rarely exceeded the 30-minute mark. You would see short Let's Play videos, sometimes even modded ones, but fully edited our Minecraft videos just wasn't there yet. Until one idea, arguably the most influential idea, changed everything. An idea that came from a single player who at the time didn't even play Minecraft. And his name is Luke the Notable. Now for almost 10 years, Luke the Notable made videos on almost every game except for Minecraft. 16 years ago now, yes, this guy isn't young, he started off by playing Halo, and about 5 years later, he completely switched games to still Halo. Then he switched to Fortnite, then to Rainbow Six Siege, and finally to his first Minecraft video. Which I don't know, it sounds kind of familiar. 100 Days in Hardcore Minecraft. No biggie. That's his first Minecraft video. Like, what? This guy's first Minecraft video literally changed everything for hardcore videos, and soon the length of Minecraft videos in general. In just 30 minutes, Luke the Notable showed his 100-day journey through Minecraft hardcore, and his viewers loved it. So what do you do after creating the first 100-day Minecraft video banger? Double it and give it to the next person, with 200 days in hardcore Minecraft, and then 300 days in hardcore Minecraft. All just about 30 minutes long, but here's where things debatably take turns for the worse. 1,000 days in hardcore Minecraft. 67 million views, and it's his longest video yet. Yeah, this has become a problem. But the reason this is a problem is because it's something you may not be thinking. The bad part has nothing to do with who's notable, but rather what came after it. An absolutely insane amount of copy.
Okay. You wanna play something on Roblox?
Which isn't bad in concept, but viewers hated it. Things like 100 Days in Minecraft or 100 Days in Viking Minecraft all became a thing. But it gets worse. Copying got so bad that people literally started memeing on it, and these comments are really funny. But then I noticed something. Almost all of
Today
these
I'm gonna be
commenters were
spending
mentioning
3
another
quintillion days.
who supposedly is making the same style of content as Luke Notable, but so much longer, and how its multiple hour runtime is completely throwing it off. And just from reading comment after comment, they all said his name was Forge Labs. And they're completely right. Forge Labs is a creator who also started with Halo. What is it with Halo? But eventually, he soon moved on to these 20-minute RL Craft episodes for a few years until, bam, he starts doing 100-day videos as well, just like Luke the Notable. And at first, his videos were the same length as yours, until eventually, he switched to almost 4-hour-long videos. And this is where it gets interesting, because other creators followed. Some of the largest Minecraft creators with millions of subscribers would eventually follow Force Lab's influence and create multiple-hour videos of their own, which is interesting because at this point, people didn't like this longer format that Force Lab was doing, and many agreed that certain parts felt like they were drawn out for no reason. Spoiler, there is a reason. One viewer called this out specifically by saying,
I want 2 cubes of sugar and stir it twice. I'll take lemonade. 1 lemonade coming right. No, baby, I'm not done. I want 2 cubes of sugar and stir it twice after each cube. Use a long spoon, not a tablespoon. I can tell the difference, so don't try me. Water should be at 55.7 degrees, and I'll take a splash of mint with a lemon wedge on the side. Thank you. That will be $1.50. This ain't what I ordered. We know, but like, this a lemonade stand, not a all-you-can-eat buffet. No, that's food. They got drinks too. Look, the customer is always right, and I'm not paying for this. Ah, fresh lemonade, freshly squeezed. Billy, Billy, stop. Can't get enough. I'll take lemonade. 1 lemonade coming right.
The man laughed, but at the same time, leaves started spewing uncontrollably from his mouth. He was terrified. The stream of leaves didn't stop, and in a state of sheer panic, all that came from his throat were harsh guttural sounds. Soon, the truth was revealed. Jack had invited the master to his home. The master explained that Jack's life had become intertwined with a Bodhi tree. With every word he spoke, a leaf would fall. And once all the leaves were gone, so would his life. Jack scoffed at the idea, refusing to believe it. He started talking nonstop, and in an instant, a storm of leaves fell from the tree. Desperate, he swung an axe at the trunk, but the force bounced him back. When he lifted his shirt, he discovered a scar on his waist identical to the one on the tree's bark. The more he spoke, the faster the leaves disappeared. In no time, the tree was half bare. Later, the master told Jack the curse couldn't be lifted. He had to accept his fate. Drunk and angry, Jack smashed a bottle against the tree, only to be knocked back by its invisible force. Furious, he hurled curses, causing the leaves to rain down even faster. His assistant, frantic, tried to stop him, but Jack only grew more agitated. With no other choice, the assistant knocked Jack out and sealed his mouth shut with duct tape. When there were only 20 leaves left, Jack began to think carefully about how to use his final words. First, he went to his wife. With what few words he had remaining, he expressed his everlasting love and sealed it with a heartfelt kiss. Then he stopped by a cafe, gifted the barista a rare vinyl record, and thanked her, and in that moment, he felt a joy he had never known before. Finally, Jack visited the nursing home where his mother lived. She mistook him for her late husband, and Jack didn't correct her. He simply sat with her, listened patiently, and learned that she had always been proud of him. Tears welled in his eyes as he kissed her forehead and whispered the love he had long held back. At last, Jack arrived at his father's grave. He spoke the words of forgiveness he had buried for years. As the sentence ended, thunder cracked overhead and 3 leaves fell. Jack collapsed to the ground, but the story didn't end in tragedy. A phone call brought a twist of fate. The tree was full of leaves again. Both Jack and the Bodhi tree had a new beginning. Sunlight bathed the earth as Jack stepped into a brand new chapter of life. Perhaps learning to treat every moment as a final gift is the best way to truly live. The man laughed, but at the same time, leaves started spewing uncontrollably from his mouth. He was terrified. The stream of leaves didn't stop, and in a state of sheer panic, all that came from his throat were harsh guttural sounds. Soon, the truth was revealed. Jack had invited the master to his home. The master...
Ronaldo made Coke lose $4 billion in 2 minutes. Here's how. Because Coca-Cola has a fundamental problem. It's basically water and sugars, so anyone can come out with their own soda and compete with them. But this is why Coke isn't a soda company, because there's one thing a competitor can't copy, their brand. So Coke's entire focus is getting you to think of them and none of these guys. Except this is a problem for Coke because 3 billion people drink soda and they can't talk to each one. So they target the one thing all of us watch, sports, which is why they're the #1 sports advertiser and fund all these leagues with billions. But that money is a problem because these athletes are the epitome of health and Coke is diabetes fuel. So some athletes hide from Coke because they don't want to endorse it. Except that makes these sports executives angry because they care about health, but they care about money more, so they punish them. Except there's one athlete they can't punish. This guy, who throws the bottles away and says water's better, which goes crazy viral and costs Coke billions. Ronaldo made Coke lose $4 billion in 2 minutes. Here's how. Because Coca-Cola has a fundamental problem. It's basically water.
Did anybody tell you that you were black?
No, I'm white.
Oh.
We're in the world's most racist town in America, and that is Harrison, Arkansas, or Zinc. If you can't beat them, join them.
I'm Chuck Harrisburg. I'm white, racist, and blind.
What's your name, by the way?
My name's Tim Garrison.
My name's Chuck Harrisburg.
I got it up here. I got black beans there.
What?
I'm sorry, that's what it said. Did anybody tell you that you were black?
No, I'm white.
Oh.
Am I not white?
No, you are. But them black beans and...
Black? I can't be touching them black beans.
Yeah, I feel so sorry for you. I could just cry.
By chance, are you colored? I'm a white male. Are you one of them solar eclipse babies?
No, I guess I am white as well.
Ah, nice to see you, brother. If you see any blacks you run the opposite direction, and you call the cops. You hear me?
Of course.
He changed his race. We need to patch that next update.
Did anybody tell you that you were black?
No, I'm white.
Oh, we're in the world's most racist town in America, and
I am Dexter Morgan, a medical school graduate. Due to an accident in my childhood, I developed a bloodthirsty impulse. But my father, Harry, was a police officer, and he keenly recognized my psychological condition. He often took me hunting, letting me vent this impulse on wild animals. However, as I grew older, this urge could no longer be suppressed by simply hunting animals. Until that day, everything changed. Harry suddenly had a heart attack and was hospitalized. Watching him lie weakly in the hospital bed, I felt fear for the first time. Not fear of death, but fear of losing him. He was the only one who understood me, who knew the dark secret deep within me. One day, when I went to visit him as usual, I saw Nurse Mary embracing a patient's family member. This should have been a warm and touching scene, but the strange smile at the corner of her mouth made me suspicious. She might be one of my kind. I began to observe her secretly and discovered that she would cut out photos from newspapers. When I compared them with the original newspapers, I found that the images she had cut out were of patients who had previously died. When she gave Harry his medication as usual, I asked why my father's condition was getting worse. She just kept changing the subject, and even when I asked what medication she was injecting into Harry, she simply said I wouldn't understand, despite my having told her I was a medical student. She continued to evade my questions. I secretly snuck into her office and found a folder in the drawer filled with news clippings about patient deaths, including photos of patients who had died just 2 days ago. I realized there was something wrong with the medication Mary was giving my father every day. I stole some of the medicine and took it to the school laboratory for testing. My teacher immediately recognized that the medication was potassium nitrate. When I asked the teacher what would happen if the solution was injected intravenously into someone,
If this solution, harmless. But if administered repeatedly over the course of several days, it could kill someone.
I learned that because the human body can dilute this substance so well, even a forensic examiner couldn't detect the cause of death. Although I wanted to kill this nurse immediately to satisfy my inner desire, I needed Harry's consent. I had to make Harry himself suggest killing her. When I rushed back to the ward, the nurse was about to give Dad an injection, and I stopped her. When I stopped her, the expression on her face convinced me. She also had a dark side. More importantly, Harry saw it too. I told Harry everything the nurse had done. This time, Harry didn't stop me. He told me to prevent the nurse from continuing to harm other patients. I broke into the nurse's home, prepared the room, and waited for her to return. As soon as she came home from work, I pounced from the corner and subdued her. I tied her to an operating table, flipping through her photo album, counting her crimes one by one. To my surprise, she remained unrepentant, insisting that everything she had done was right. I understood then that there was no point in talking to someone like this. I placed my hand on her heart, feeling her fear. I liked this feeling. I transported the body to the swamp, where there were many alligators that would consume the corpse completely. I kept her earring as a memento, but I didn't know how much trouble this earring would bring me. I am Dexter Morgan, a medical school graduate. Due to an accident in my childhood, I developed a bloodthirsty impulse. But my father, Harry, was a police officer, and
Decades from now, people have become extremely energy conscious. Walking is no longer necessary because the ground itself moves. Conveyor belts carry everyone to work and school. People just stand still and move forward effortlessly. But there is one strict rule in this world. No one is allowed to look up at the sky. Anyone who breaks this rule is sentenced to death. Decades ago, a disaster changed everything. In a pursuit of new energy sources, scientists tried to convert Earth's gravity into usable energy. But the experiments spiraled out of control. Gravity reversed across the globe, and the sky began swallowing everything. People used to love the sky. Now, it has become their worst nightmare. That is why no one is allowed to look up anymore. Jack, however, is different. He loves the sky. At night, he often lies on the ground and gazes upward. One evening, as he was looking up, he noticed something unusual. A backpack was floating above him, upside down. Curious, Jack stood up for a better look. Just then, a girl climbed over a barbed wire fence. She struggled and finally managed to grab the backpack. That was when their eyes met. Jack was shocked. Mary, the girl, was startled too. She slipped, and the sky began pulling her upward. Luckily, she grabbed onto the wire. Mary called for Jack to help. Jack was confused, but decided to help her down. As he reached for her, something unexpected happened. When Jack held onto Mary, they both began rising into the sky. They floated higher and higher. For the first time in his life, Jack saw the morning sun. The view was breathtaking, but now they needed a way to get back to safety. Mary tried everything she could. She even threw away her backpack to lose weight. Eventually, gravity eased up, and they slowly drifted back to the ground. Even then, Mary was terrified. She clung tightly to Jack's shirt and refused to let go. With no other option, Jack led her to an abandoned warehouse. Mary finally felt safe when her feet touched the ceiling, which was her version of the floor. She peeked outside. The view was stunning, but as soon as she looked up at the sky, she quickly pulled her head back in. Jack suddenly had a realization. He began to wonder if Mary Mary was upside down. Mary was confused. She didn't understand what upside down meant. She found it strange that everything around her seemed flipped. Jack believed she was the one who was upside down. They both insisted that their own worlds were the normal ones. To them, what they grew up with was reality. While they were still arguing, Jack heard the school bell ring. He had to get to class. Mary was worried that Jack would leave her. Jack promised he would come back. He told her his name. Mary shared hers too.
My next video is long. I get you.
Yo, this anime looks good.
Jack was happy. He had made a new friend.
What
On
is
his
it?
way
What
to
is it?
school, Jack
What
felt
is it?
excited. He could not wait to...
Padma and Verdun. It actually sounds good though. You trying to watch it together?
Padma.
I
Okay.
can end them.